Greetings, peons! I have broken through. It is I, the instructor of Tolarian State University, where our motto is, we don't play magic to have fun. But what's this? Wizards of the Coast is releasing another unset. As someone who hates creativity and fun, I find that unacceptable. Rosewater shall pay for this. As punishment, this channel will now only produce Magic the Gathering content about Mark Rosewater's most hated format, Commander. I'm so evil. Stop right there, Unstructor. What's this? The Professor! Entertaining and popular Magic the Gathering videos have no place at Tolarian Community College. Luckily, I have recently signed up for NordVPN. No! Keep your shillery away from me! Now you can take control with NordVPN. Up to 6 simultaneous connections, high-level encryption that works even in China. And right now you can get 75% off a 3-year plan, plus 1 additional month for free when you go to nordvpn.com/Tolarian Community or use code Tolarian Community. This special offer makes your subscription just $3.49 a month. Ugh. God, do you even know what VPN stands for? Many Magic the Gathering players ask the question, is it worth it to buy Unsanctioned, the newest unset from Wizards of the Coast? Though that's not entirely accurate, as Unsanctioned isn't so much a new unset, as it is a series of pre-constructed decks consisting almost entirely of reprints, and once again meant to be taken out of the box in a manner akin to a board game. So is this another undeniable home run in the Silver Border legacy, or with only 15 new cards and limited full art lands, an unbelievably rushed to marketplace product with limited appeal? Let's take a look. Unlike the previous 3 unsets, Unsanctioned is not a draftable Magic the Gathering set, nor can it be drafted. Instead, Unsanctioned contains the following: 5 30-card decks, or more accurately half decks, as these are not playable by themselves but meant to be combined with one another to form playable 60-card decks. Think of it like Smash Up meets Dual Decks. Grab red and black while your opponent grabs blue and white. Shuffle up and get a game. Within these 150 cards are 15 brand new Silver Border cards, while the remaining 134 are reprints from the previous 3 unsets. Also included are 2 6-sided die, 10 double-sided tokens, and 10 full art lands, 5 of which are foil, the other 5 non-foil. Price is $49.99. So here we have yet another in the now recurring line of Magic the Gathering products that is emulating a board game out-of-the-box design. From Explorers of Ixalan to Game Night, Wizards of the Coast continues to eschew booster packs and draft, and even the concept of deck building for this playwright out-of-the-box system. It was very shocking to me that they would pursue this with a silver-bordered product, as the very premise of silver-bordered unsets in the past has been the draft experience. In many ways, Unglued, Unhinged, and Unstable were the apotheosis of limited gameplay, taking gameplay and design mechanics beyond the usual limits and creating a draft environment and experience that was wholly unique and extravagant. So if Unsanctioned now seeks to offer a self-contained Magic the Gathering out-of-the-box experience, then the true evaluation rests almost entirely in just how enjoyable that experience is. Let's explore the main components that might make up the experience for different players, beginning with the cards themselves. Silver border cards are an opportunity for R&D to try out wildly imaginative, out-of-the-box mechanics. Some silver border mechanics famously show up in black border cards of the future, so seeing cards in an unset is often a glimpse into future sets. Other silver border cards are just breaking the boundaries of Magic, such as requiring use of a 6-sided die. In Unsanctioned, 15 new cards have been created to both entice players and to offer cohesion to the mix-and-match 30-card mini-decks. In these 15 new cards, players are offered some unbounded options, such as a Beeble Planeswalker, which gloriously has artwork by original Beeble artist Jeff Miracola. Among the 150 is also the added bonus reprinting of a previously exclusive promo of Sword of Dungeons & Dragons, not to mention the bright and colorful double-sided tokens, and of course the inclusion of some full art lands, which I will discuss in more detail in a moment. For now, let's just talk gameplay. There's a lot to like about this product. It's a curated list of singles from 3 unsets, selected for interactivity and enjoyment by R&D minds like Mark Rosewater, Chris Mooney, and Ari Nye. In some ways, this is reminiscent to me of the highly popular Ravnica Guild kits, which themselves drew from 3 Ravnica blocks to form 60-card decks that not only could be played against one another, but were made up of a multitude of components that could be taken and placed in everything from Commander to Modern, Pioneer, and Standard decks. Like those, I see Unsanctioned as being an unset kit of sorts, where there is a lot of fun enjoyment out of the box, but also the possibility of using the components of the box for other things, such as silver-bordered Commander and Cube. Many Magic the Gathering players love and enjoy spicing up their game nights by adding silver border cards to their Cube and Commander decks. I myself am one of them. I'm going to be honest with you. If you have a Cube and you don't run Booster Tutor in it, then you're missing out. And Booster Tutor was wonderfully reprinted here. Sadly, my other favorite uncard, Ashnod's Coupon, was not. And that actually is yet another use here, because those of us who have played in prior unsets, those of us who have drafted Unglued and Unhinged, have a lot of prized and beloved older silver border cards sitting in our collections with no real repeatable use. And now, thanks to Unsanctioned, there is a use, because after you've played through this a few times, you can look to make your own additions and subtractions, fine-tuning the Unsanctioned experience as though it were a mini Uncube in itself. I very much like that this has those options, as it expands the product to having use and application for a wide variety of players, from new to experienced. Financial value is a dubious thing to look at when talking about a silver-bordered set. However, where that financial awareness does usually land is not on the silver-bordered cards themselves, but rather the included black-bordered basic full art lands. The full art lands are currently selling for about $2.99 each for the non-foils, and about double that for the foils, depending on which one. Blue obviously going for the most, and white going for the least. This means you could conceivably purchase Unsanctioned, sell all 10 lands, and recoup most or possibly even all of the purchase price. And that is largely how full art lands have functioned in unsets since their inception. You buy the booster pack for a fun experience, and that full art land is worth the value of the pack. Now, I'm going to talk about the fact that they've only included one of each full art land in both premium and non-premium form in just a moment, but before I do, I want to discuss an aspect that I think is even more relevance to the financial cost of this product, but is much less talked about. The fact that this board game in a box is really an experience that only 2 players can play. With only 5 30-card half decks and the game needing a minimum of 2 of these combined together, that makes Unsanctioned a very strict 2-player only game. It needs, not wants, but needs you to create a 60-card deck, but it only gives you the choices of 5 30-card half decks, and thus the maximum players for this $50 Magic the Gathering board game-like product is 2. Also, with only 5 30-card half decks, there's limited replay between them, at least until things start to get repetitive. Even if players were beginning to try multicolor permutations without adding additional cards of their own, there's just so many versions versions 150 cards can bring, especially when 60 of those 150 cards are basic lands. Meanwhile, other board games like Dominion, Seven Wonders, Quarriors, Smash Up, Small World, Terra Mystica, and a plethora of additional options all accommodate 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 players, and come with an enormous number of options. I think a real solid comparison is to Smash Up, and the base set of that gives you 4-player capability with 8 total factions. Not to mention that there are a multitude of expansions available, which can bring you to owning over 60 factions. Or compared to Dominion, where a single expansion has 250 cards for players to construct decks from. And it's worth noting that both Dominion and Smash Up cost $35 to $40 instead of $50 to $60. Even compared to other Magic products, I feel Unsanctioned has a high price tag. Consider again, this is a firm 2-player game. 150 cards, but truly just 2 60-card decks. Well, dual decks were 120 cards, with things like foil planeswalkers and other nice reprints included, and those sold for $20 each. So here we have another 2-player shuffle up and play product, but instead of $20, it is $50, and it's 150 cards instead of 120. So $30 more for 30 more cards? So if Unsanctioned is going to present itself as a Magic the Gathering board game, a shuffle up and play experience right out of the box, then yeah, that's valid criteria for me to evaluate it by. And when I look at this as a $50 board game, the first and I feel most critical thing about Unsanctioned becomes clear. There should have been a lot more of those 30-card mini decks to choose from. I really would have liked to see more than 5 of these unset mini decks to shuffle up into each other. Imagine 8 or more mini decks, not defined so much by a base color, but by an unset theme like, I don't know, squirrels, watermarks, or jackass factions. So overall, it feels that they could have gone a bit further, developed the idea a bit more, perhaps a lot more, and along those lines, the collectible aspects of the specialty lands could have been more generous. Yes, let's talk about the full arts. With only one of each full art land included in foil and non-foil within a $50 box of Unsanctioned, players are going to have quite the struggle and financial burden to do what it is that they want to do, which is to bling out their decks with these lands. In previous unsets, it has been one full art land per pack, which allowed for better access for players to attempt to collect and obtain enough of each land for their decks. $100 bought you a complete booster box, so $50 of your money got you about 18 full art lands, not 10. Is the point of Unsanctioned the full art lands? No. The point should ultimately be in the gameplay, but if they are to be included, if they are to be made and offered as an enticement towards players, then that availability should be fair and reasonable, which begs the question, why not just make the 12 lands per deck full art? Compare this to the Ravnica Guild kits, which had highly specialized and highly sought after basic lands. Well, that $20 product from Wizards of the Coast came with complete land bases in the Guild land style. They didn't just put one Izzet Mountain and one Izzet Island in the Guild kit. The entire deck had these special lands that you can get nowhere else. And in so doing, it allowed reasonable access and also on a basic level, no pun intended, allowed someone who has purchased the kits to have a complete specialty land base. Ultimately, I do not think it is a major problem that Wizards has restricted these to one of each full art, but let's be honest, it's extremely stingy. And considering the high price and the fact that this is 30 cards more than a $20 dual deck, well, it seems like a clear area that they could have been generous in to help justify that $50 price tag. Final conclusion, in isolation of cost, Unsanctioned is a fun 2-player experience that comes with many Magic the Gathering components, which can either be used in other formats such as Cube or Commander, or perhaps integrated integrated with past unsets. Unlike more disappointing products like Game Night, I see compelling and exciting Magic gameplay built into a system of myriad uses and applications and appeal to a Magic audience from new to old. But as a Magic the Gathering board game, it once again does not hold up well against other board games, as it costs more than most, but only accommodates 2 players. And with so few 30-card half decks, replayability is somewhat limited. The set itself has other areas which could have been developed further, from the development of more original silver-bordered cards to simply not being so stingy with the sought-after full art lands. Overall, the product is very good, but it falls short of the excellence that could have come with more development of cards and decks, and of more generosity in terms of bling items such as the full art lands, which have become synonymous with unsets. Grade? That's a solid B. I hope very much this video has been of some help to you. You can help me out by remembering to like, share, subscribe, or just by leaving a message. Special thanks to NordVPN for helping sponsor this video. Remember that you can get 70% off a 3-year plan plus 1 additional month for free when you go to nordvpn.com/TolarianCommunity or use code TolarianCommunity. So if you know what VPN stands for, then you can, do that. You were bumming around on a boat with your boyfriend.
Hey, no, that was work experience. Jace just happened to be there with his shirt off. A lot.
Well, now that you've finished your summer internship, I think it's time we started talking about your class schedule.
It wasn't an internship. I was captain of a pirate ship. There's a difference.
Did you get paid?
Sorry, what?
Did you get paid? In money.
I got a thematic compass.
Right. And now that you've finished your unpaid internship...
Look, I already told you I'm not coming back to school. Nicole...